What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of PAC Man, all things physician assistant. In this video, I want to talk about the 10 things that you should consider before going to PA school, man. Number one on the list is, do you really love the profession, or are you doing it for the money? Because if you're doing it for the money, and I'm sure you've heard this a million times, you are going to hate being a PA because, and I'll tell you this, dealing with patients is not fun and it's not easy. Some of us have or are still working in retail. Some of us are working in hospitality, the food industry, and we know what it's like to deal with a customer that does not or is not a friendly individual. They have a very nasty attitude and they would just rub you in a really nasty way. Well, a patient is that times 100. Imagine a nasty person who already has a nasty way of being, and then you add fever, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. It doesn't make them any better of a person. It just adds on to the frustration of dealing with a particular individual. So please, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, consider another profession. That was number one. Number two is, have you ever shadowed a PA? Shadow a PA for two reasons. One, if you don't have the proper medical experience, past medical experience to get into PA school, then it's beneficial to reflect on paper that you have at least shadowed a PA and are very familiar with the profession by shadowing them for multiple hours. And we could talk about exactly how to do that and where to find that in other videos. And the second reason why you want to shadow a PA is for yourself, to understand if, man, is this really for me? Let me see what a PA does in a day-to-day. Right? So that's definitely something to consider, and feel free to ask questions in the comment section below and I'll be more than happy to answer individual questions. Number three, prerequisites. Before you start going and knocking out a bunch of classes, hey, let me do this, let me do that, find what school it is that you want to go to and go on their website and find out exactly what the prerequisites are for that program. Mind you, if you're going to be applying for multiple schools within your area, then look up everybody's prerequisites. And you don't need to memorize every single person's prerequisites. Just see what the differences are and say, hey, for the most part, everybody's asking for the same, but this particular school is asking for an additional class. And bear in mind, if that's a program that you're highly interested in, then consider taking that class as well. The next thing is, are you willing to relocate for your dreams? And that's a very important question to ask yourself, because it's very difficult to get into your top choice school. So you may have to relocate. There's people in my program who have come from far and wide, all over the US. Make sure that you are willing to relocate to make it happen. If a school is offering you an opportunity to get into PA school, but it happens to be in another state, you have to really sit down and think, man, is this really worth it for me? Intensity, right? So number five, your GPA. Your GPA is like the credit score of education. You got to take care of it with your life, man. So when I mean do whatever it is you have to do to get the absolute best possible grades in every class, regardless of how stupid the class may be, then, and excuse my language, but do it. Go extreme. Number six, besides your GPA, is your science GPA. Whoa, what is that? Your science GPA is your GPA particularly focused on science-driven courses. Example, your anatomy physiologies, your microbiologies, your chemistries, these are all science courses. They want to know, well, fine, you weren't able to do amazing in every single class, but how did you do on those sciences? Because this is a science profession. Go speak to an advisor and ask them, hey, how is my science GPA? Next on the list is the entrance exam. Dun, dun, dun. Some schools have it, some schools don't. As you're doing the research, you want to look into the entrance exam, primarily just anatomy and physiology with a couple of medical term questions and a little bit of microbiology. It's not a very difficult test. If you have some type of science background, myself, I'm a surgical tech, so anatomy is everything to me. So for me, the test was fair. I didn't get 100%. Whoa, you didn't get 100%? No, I didn't get 100%. I got like an 80 something out of 100 questions. If you want more information on the entrance exam, leave me a question in the bottom and I'll be more than happy to assist with that. If not, I will be making a future video specifically on the entrance exam. So feel free to subscribe so you can be notified when those videos pop up. Next thing, the interview. Oh no, not the interview. Yes, all PA programs, regardless of where you're located, will interview you. They don't know who you are. All they have is a sheet of paper that says you are very good on paper. It is extremely important to determine if you are a good candidate for their program by interviewing you. Most interviews is a panel. A panel means more than one person, maybe 3, maybe 4 people just firing questions at you. And honestly, they don't really care about the answer so much as they care about the delivery. Are you just a nervous wreck? So are you saying if 4 people came into the ER right now, which is any day of the week in any given ER, came through the door, you're gonna freak out and say, I'm not ready for this? No. One question at a time, one patient at a time, one problem at a time. They're just wanting to know that you can manage your time effectively. You get accepted into PA school. Yay! But nobody told you that you will have to quit work to get through PA school, that you will no longer have money to buy household necessities like toothpaste and toilet paper and what am I gonna do for gas and financial aid only covers but so much money, so you can't actually pay your bills with that money. And it's a lot of little things that you don't think about until your paycheck goes away, and then it becomes very obvious that it is going to be a very long 27 months. And then lastly, your finances. Try your hardest. Get your finances in order. Example is myself. I knew that I was going to get into PA school regardless. I don't care if I had to beg them for a seat in the class. I was going to start that year. So I mentally programmed myself. I talked to the universe. I spoke to God, and we all came together and we said, let's do this. But if you're going to get into PA school, what should you be doing? And it just came to me. I should probably not have car payments. So I went ahead and worked. I picked up a second job, graveyard. I was able to pay off my car. I was able to pay off my credit cards. I mentally, physically, financially, emotionally prepared myself for PA school. And I hope this video finds you well, and I hope that you're able to learn something from this video. And if you have any questions, please thumbs up, subscribe, and leave the questions, comments, or concerns in the bottom, and I will most definitely get back to you shortly. See ya.